how to be understood by people around you. I was recently given food by a chef, and after trying it, she asked, "What do you think?" Immediately, my answer was, "What do I think about what?" I said, "Well, what do you think about the food?" I said, "Well, what kind of thoughts do you want me to share with you?" And she replied, "Well, you know what I mean." And I was like, "No, I actually don't know what you mean." I was like, "What do you want to know? What kind of thoughts do you want me to share? Do you want me to share thoughts about how this can be made better? Or do you want me to share thoughts about how it tastes? Do you want me to share thoughts about what I like about it? Do you want me to share thoughts about what I don't like about it?" And she's like, "Oh, come on, I just want you to tell me if you like it or not." I was like, "Well, that's actually a much easier question. Ask me whether I like it or not, and I can answer yes or no." She said, "Do you like it or not?" I said, "Yes." And she was like, "Ah, well, why are you making this so complicated when you know what I mean?" And my reply was that I actually don't know what you mean. And I spend my time listening to you. I actually listen to what you ask me, which is, what do you think? And if you can't be bothered to listen to what you say, why would anyone else? If you can't be bothered to hear what you say and say, "Hey, actually what I said is not what I mean," then why would anybody around you listen to what you actually say? So I used to spend my whole life trying to understand what people meant by saying stuff that was different. Because I could understand that people would say things, and I knew that they were trying to say something else, but I was always trying to guess that. And now I've stopped. Because I realized that I'm not an oracle, and I'm not a mind reader. So what I do now is that when I hear a question, as obnoxious as it is, I answer that question. And then I ask the person, "Is this what you wanted to ask? Is this what you wanted to know?" And if it's not, I go back to them and go back to the question, what is it that you meant? What is it you actually wanted to say? So there's a difference. When what you say is not what you mean, you create confusion. You ask other people to make guesses. You ask other people to read your mind and predict what what you're trying to think, what you're thinking, what you're trying to mean. And when you do that, it can only lead to confusion. When you do that, it can only lead to problems. So my invitation to you, when you hear someone else say something that is not what they mean, ask something that is not quite the question they want to ask them, what do you mean? What is it you really want to say? And to go with them deep enough in those questions so that you both know what is the purpose of the question. And then you can talk about it. Examples of questions is, for example, someone says, "I love you." Don't settle for the "I love you." Ask questions. What kind of love do you feel for me? When you feel that kind of love, how is it? How do you experience that? What is it that I've done, or at which moment? What is it that I said that you felt that made you feel that? Who else do you feel like this with? What else does it remind you of? This sensation, this emotion. And now you can understand what the person say when they say "I love you." Now you can understand what love they're talking about. And when you talk to people, when you say stuff to people, to ask yourself before you ask a question, before you say something, what do I really mean? What is it that I really want to say? Is what I'm saying what I really want to say, or is what I'm saying a cop-out, easy version of it? and to be fearless into asking the question you really want to ask. So if you have any questions for me, please write them in the comments to this video. Write me your most fearless questions, your most honest questions about the way you experience life and about how the way you want to experience life or the way you see other people experience life and want to know about. So lots of love. What do you want to know? What do you want to experience? How do you want me to help you? Lots of love.